Is it too early to say cheers?
No.
Nope, you got it. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody, and we are at a new location. What's the name of this bar, John?
John's Heroes Bar.
John's Heroes Bar. Awesome. We are at a new location, and we have the same audio as last week or the week before, so hopefully it sounds a hell of a lot better. And tonight we are going to talk about swatting.
Swatting.
You don't know what swatting is? Yeah, it's not swatting
Not
at flies
girl
or
fight.
mosquitoes or
Girl
whatever. Stick around because this is a very, very, very dangerous situation that is happening across our country, and it's really scary. You're going to want to listen to this and watch it because it could happen to you at your house. So stick around. We will be back in just a second. All right, Camille, let's do our officer down moment real quick. And
Yeah,
then we'll go
as
into
of today, when I researched it, we have 73 police officers who have passed in the line of duty middle of the year, or a little past the middle of the year. So we're on track for 120, just over 100, 120 or so, unless it all stops, which would be awesome.
Yeah, because one is too many.
Yeah. So yeah, to all of our brothers and sisters who have passed in the line of duty, we salute you.
God bless you and your families.
Did you guys drink the show beer?
I took a little sip of it.
I had not.
I
No,
cheated.
you already started drinking it.
All right, go ahead, John.
Show beer.
What do we got?
We're doing my nephew works at a brewery.
Oh my God! Enough with the nephew. Jeez.
All right. Well, thanks, EJ. Zigmeister. It's located in Hackettstown, New Jersey. We're going to try Zenith.
You have to say that in a German accent, like Zigmeister.
Zigmeister. Zenith. It's a Sundial Series fruited sour ale.
Fruited sour
Fruited
ale.
sour
I
ale.
love the color. The amber color.
Is this the Meister burger?
Meister burger. Yeah.
No more toys.
So I'm going to start the voting on this one, and I'm going to give this a 7.275.
Okay. Yeah. 7.275.
I'm not getting any sour from it,
I'm not either.
but I like it. I'm going to give it a 7.75.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 for the taste, but not for what it says it is.
Yeah,
But it
for what
says it's a fruited sour.
But it's not
Fruited
fruited.
sour, I give it a 2 because it ain't sour at all.
Right.
It's fruited.
And it's not fruited either.
All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about a very controversial subject called swatting.
Swatting.
SWATTING. It is a very dangerous situation that goes on and is still going on. It's not as prevalent right now as it was a few years ago. However, it is still happening. And what swatting is where someone decides that they are going
Some
to...
a-hole.
Yeah, some whack are going to call 911 and say that their house has been burglarized, home invaded, or whatever, and that they are being held hostage right now in their house, and the police need to come immediately, to save them, or whatever the verbiage is.
Can I correct that? Because actually it's not normally someone calls 911 saying their house is being. It is they call and say someone else's house.
Right. You're right.
Yeah, I just saw 4 masked people with shotguns going into my neighbor's house. Assault rifles, yes.
Correct. Yes. Thank you. And yes, they're calling in and they're saying, "Hey, my neighbor's being robbed." Blah blah blah.
I heard some gunshots.
2252, Blank Street, whatever it is. And of course, what do law enforcement do? Law enforcement responds. Every freaking cop that's within 25 miles is going to this call, because when it pops up on your screen, home invasion, armed suspects, wearing masks, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's alert tones, it's code 3, which means lights and sirens, 100 miles an hour to get there to try and save someone's life. And what happens when this first started happening is the cops get there, they evacuate all the homes that are adjacent to the residence that is in question, and they call the SWAT teams, the helicopters, they put snipers on roofs and everything else, and they're waiting for this situation. And then if no one answers the door, or they don't get anybody to answer the door through loudspeaker announcements or whatever else, they're busting down the door, going in there with M4s, MP5s, machine guns, everything else, pointing at these people. And these poor people are laying in bed, wake up, and they're like, oh my God, I've got all these cops in my face, SWAT team in my face with all these machine guns and everything else. And people get hurt during these situations, bad hurt. Either responding officers get hurt because they crash, citizens get hurt because the officers crash, or somebody who thinks that their house is truly being invaded now, and it's the cops, pull out a gun out of their nightstand, and they get popped by an innocent SWAT team member who thinks this is a bad guy that walked out in the hallway with his 9mm thinking his house is being invaded.
Yeah.
So this is all bad. All bad.
Because I wasn't on the road when this came about. Is this a felony?
The 2 or 3 months you were actually on the road?
Yeah, right.
Oh, is that long? I was going to say 8.
Well, enough to get through FTO.
Truth.
Is it a specific crime in Florida? Swatting?
It's
more than just filing a false police report?
It's a false report of a crime.
But here's the deal. If someone gets hurt, then they can charge them with culpable negligence or possibly third degree, well, I guess not third degree murder. What is it?
Manslaughter?
Manslaughter if someone was to die in direct reaction to their action,
right,
then the charges go from there. I mean, you'd have to, figure out what happened, but
no, I think that would be an easy charge. If John calls on the neighbor and he's just effing around and somebody dies, I think it's slam dunk for a
part of the problem. Part of the problem is it's not a neighbor calling saying my neighbor's house is
no,
getting,
I know it's you calling somebody in 2 towns away,
Massachusetts,
right?
Yeah, or it's someone sitting on a gaming system, and that is where this has happened a lot.
Okay,
is they're on a gaming system and they're pulling this prank, so the people that are listening to them on the other end of the gaming system are like, oh my God, their house is being, robbed, whatever. Well, what's your address, blah, blah, blah. And then all this work goes in to find out where in the hell this is going on at. Fortunately, after a few of these, because we had one and it was in a neighboring town. It was the first one we had ever heard of. And all the officers respond. They vacate all the house, or they evacuate all the houses. They got SWAT teams. They've got freaking command posts set up. They've got helicopters, everything else.
Which is all your tax dollars at work.
Right. Yeah, thousands and thousands of dollars. Jet fuel for a helicopter is not freaking cheap. Overtime for all these SWAT team members is not freaking cheap.
And not only that, it's taken away from somebody who might actually have an emergency.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because we were the neighboring city, like 6, 7, 8 miles away. I sent, because I was a supervisor when this happened, I sent 3 of our people to go assist with this. And now, what have I done? I've now shorted our city 3 officers. So if all hell breaks loose in our place, now I've got to ask for assistance that could be 15 to 20 minutes away from a county or from another city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a big snowball effect. So anyway, what happened with this one is they secure everything. They can't get no answer at the door. No one's answering. And they go into the garage. They make entry into the garage because it was open. One of the outer door was open. They go into the garage. Now they're by the interior door. They are stacked and ready, which with the SWAT team means, if you've seen the movies, there's 4 or 5 guys or gals stacked.
No, I was stacking up. John and I were stacking up.
Stacked and ready to go in and take out whatever they need to take out. Whether it's take the perpetrator down, handcuff him, whatever, shoot him, whatever it is. So what happened is they end up figuring out through good police work that this was a hoax.
Right.
And thank God they did. It happened to us in our agency. We had already heard about the one for the neighboring agency, so we kind of were a little bit, it sounded so crazy when they called in that it's like, is this really freaking true? This is almost too crazy to be true.
Right.
Well, we still responded, 70, 80, 100 miles an hour down there, all the units, county units, everybody else. But before we called SWAT and the helicopters and everybody else, our unbelievably phenomenal dispatchers found a number, called the number. I think it was for a relative or something. They called the homeowner, and the homeowner goes, "What the hell are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
I'm freaking. You just woke me up. There's nothing going on in my house."
Yeah.
And of course, we had them come out, meet the officers, all the way out the end of the driveway by the street, because you don't want to walk up to the front door and get blasted.
Right.
So here's these guys, this guy comes walking out.
In his fuzzy buddy jammies.
Exactly, in his skivvies, and he's like, coming out with his hands up like this, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" It was a hoax.
Right.
Thank God we found out.
But the problem is, officers have to, number one, be able to make contact inside the house.
Right.
But then have to, they're going to be liable if they choose not to treat it as, oh, well, someone else answered the phone.
Right.
So how can we verify that the bad guy didn't answer the phone and say everything is fine?
Right. And what happens if no one answers the phone?
Yeah.
Right. Now we're going to call SWAT.
Yep.
We're going to get SWAT. We're going to evacuate all the houses next to it. We're going to probably throw flashbangs or tear gas in the house, which can cause fires. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to break down the door and go in there with 10 SWAT team members, and the house is vacant because nobody answered the freaking phone.
Yep.
I mean, people don't realize, and they think this shit's cool, man.
Yeah, funny.
They think it's cool as hell. They say, did you see that? The cops went out.
I mean, and it's one of those things, but law enforcement can't do the same thing the fire department did, and law enforcement did back in the 70s and 80s with bomb threats at schools.
Right.
That became the big thing where, hey, I'm going to call in a bomb threat.
So I don't have to take the final exam.
Yeah, but you're also going to be able to watch all the cops and all cops and firemen responded to the location.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to give away our secret, but we don't send every cop, every fire department to every bomb threat anymore.
There's certain procedures that we do now.
There are ways that we can verify. Right. Okay, is this a true bomb threat or is this likely a hoax?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you think that the decline in swatting, it's still out there, but the declining in the swatting has been from the technology of being able to figure out why is this call being made from Massachusetts?
Yeah, from Keokuk, Iowa.
Right.
Yeah,
to Orlando.
Why would they call?
Right.
And this and that. Well, now they're saying, and yes, the technology has definitely helped because they'll say, "Oh, I'm the neighbor, and it's happening at blah blah blah." Okay, well, sir, your number's coming back to a Newark, New Jersey number. Where are you located?
Right.
And then they go and make contact with when he says, "Oh, I'm the neighbor at 1201, blah blah blah." They go make contact. I didn't call you. Okay, we got something going on here. So yes, technology is definitely number one. The knowledge that this shit's going on.
Right.
Has helped, and the training and the supervisors are being trained. And number two, just like you said, the technology has drastically freaking helped, cut this down. Could you imagine the old days? Oh, from house phones when we didn't. Oh, okay, I was a dispatcher back when we didn't have 911.
They had the crank phones.
Go ahead. I knew it was coming.
Hey, Mary, can you connect me to 106 Bravo?
Yeah. So we didn't have 911, and you couldn't see where the number was coming from. We physically had to, on another phone line, call the operator and say, "I need you to trace this phone. We have an emergency. I need to find out what the address is." If they couldn't tell you what their address was. So could you imagine back in the day this happening? Dude, there would have been multiple people killed because of this. Either due to traffic crashes or because they broke into the house and somebody fired upon them.
Hey, I have a more important question for you. All those cops showing up to those houses, did they have an awesome mustache like mine?
Or mine.
So what we're doing is who's got the best stash, and I can't zoom it in right now. I forgot how to do that because I'm an idiot. But so we have, if you're new to the show, we have John here with his mustache, and we have Camille over there with his. So if you want to, or please comment down below after you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below because this contest ends September 1st. Will this show air before then?
We'll do
Yes,
it.
it will.
We will air this one, and this will be the last one.
This
we
will be
do
the
it, yeah.
last one for
and
the-
it's for a cigar.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
From the date of airing, 7 days
Yeah.
to the minute,
Okay.
voting ends.
That works.
From the date of this
The time we
airing of this
post
show
it, 7 days to the.
to the minute.
Okay.
Okay. And
So
then
vote
voting
for
ends.
Camille
The minute.
You can only vote one
as
time.
many times as you want.
No
So,
negative.
so if you like
All
his
the
mustache,
times.
vote for John. And if you like my mustache, vote for John.
There's a cigar bet on this. You know, I don't have a dog in this fight because, as you can see, I don't have a mustache because I can't
'Cause you can't grow
one
one.
worth of crap. You're
But
right.
it's still the second best on the show.
Yeah, compared to yours. Mine's
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
Ronnie's second.
All right. Well,
All right.
they have the mustaches. I have the guns. I had to throw it in there. All right. So listen. If you have a comment about this, or if you've been a victim of this, or you know somebody that's been a victim of swatting, please share this show so that people understand that this is actually happening. And I'll tell you where it's really happening is to the elderly, and it's a damn shame because, as I understand, one of these cases where they could not get a hold of the elderly couple inside, they actually busted the door down, went in, and one of the residents suffered a massive heart attack and almost died.
So, a manslaughter case.
It would have been, but they didn't die.
Oh.
But I mean, I said almost died.
almost died.
But you always
I'm
interrupt.
almost.
You always interrupt.
I'm almost
so,
listening.
yeah, interruptus maximus
Right.
over there. But anyway, so if you know somebody, please share this with them. You know, or share it on your page or wherever you Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on what? Twitter. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast. You know, share it with somebody that you know that could benefit from this. We really appreciate it.
Hey, so how do we, besides charging as much as we can, and maybe you guys know, do we charge, and we should charge, investigative costs?
Well, we did at our agency in our county.
Yeah.
We would actually, once the prosecution was over, we would submit a form that all the investigative costs and every officer
To
that
that individual, and they're on the hook for it.
every officer that responded, the pieces of equipment, everything. If the helicopter responded, it was like $1,000 an
Yeah.
hour. Oh yeah, and they were charged with it. And I'll tell you what, our city collected quite a few dollars
Good.
from that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Cost of investigation.
There has to
it was
be
called.
consequences.
There has to be. Absolutely. All right, guys. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. All them doodads. We really appreciate it. Because it's surviving the badge.
We still got your six.
Salute.